to those who are just joining in. We'll get started in just a moment. Just gonna wait for a few more people to join in. So I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Excited to see you all today. I don't really do TikTok lives a whole lot, but I thought I would just kind of put myself out there. There's a lot going on in the world, obviously. And with the videos that I do put out, a lot of people do have questions. So what I am here to do today is to go over what I see coming up in the next month, actually. So April is, I'm definitely getting a lot of intuitive feelings on the month of April and what's ahead. And so I felt compelled to reach out to you guys and let you know what's going to be happening. I will also be putting out another just kind of 1 minute TikTok video, just kind of briefly going over what is going on over in the live. But basically you guys are going to get a sneak peek as to what I see coming up. And we can also kind of cover, some bits and pieces throughout the year as well. So I'm going to kind of start off with kind of going over for the first 30 minutes, kind of discussing, what I see happening, and then we can go ahead and answer questions. What would be really appreciated is if you guys could make some sort of donation or contribution just to help me out. My link is in the bio, and it'll show you kind of different ways to make a donation if you can, if you are so very called to do. But every little bit helps. And so it's much appreciated. So I know that a lot of you guys are going to have a lot of questions, and that's fine. But like I said, what we're going to do is kind of just start off with what I need to tell you guys, and then we'll go from there. And I am happy to answer any questions. So looks like there's only about 5 people here. Okay, it's growing. Okay, Bree says, I watched a video of Putin saying that the media here is lying to us, which I already knew. Well, yeah, that's a given. I mean, when is the media not lying, right? So, yeah, that's something that we all need to be cognizant about, is not following the media narrative. They're going to really kind of push more and more propaganda as the months go by. But the benefit of this, though, is that they're going to get more and more get caught up in their lies. So more and more people are going to start to realize that the media does not have our best interest in mind. People are going to start really weeding through the lies, and people already have been. They've been really figuring out hey, we are not being told the truth. So what that essentially is going to do, it's going to bring more awareness to that problem, and there will be eventually a dismantling of that. So that's something to look forward to. I know a lot of people are frustrated because of the media and the lies and the propaganda and all of that stuff. But you got to realize that this is a way to expose themselves for who they really are. So it's almost kind of like being in an abusive relationship, right? And you're first dating the person, and you're like, oh wow, they seem really nice, and they're all about supporting me and loving me and all of that stuff. But then you date them for a while, and then you're like, wow, you are a liar. Or you are a narcissist, you are trying to take away my freedom. And it brings awareness to the person to make that change and to cut that person away, right? So it's kind of the same concept. They really need to show who they really are and the BS that they're a part of, and then that's when people just start being like, okay, we have a serious issue that we need to take care of. And this is going to be just with everything in our system, by the way. And I'm not sure if I talked about this in my last live, but I'll probably just kind of go over this too with you guys, is that everything that's happening right now, even though this is the Great Reset, it's more than what meets the eye. The elites have their own idea of a reset, but there's also simultaneously another reset happening for the people. Okay, so this is that age of Aquarius energy where, you know, people are going to start rising up, and we're going to take control of our planet and bring it back to us, the people, and we're going to take away the power from the elites. So that's why everything is happening the way it is now, is so that we as humanity take our power back. So, you know, and I know that it could seem like this, like, horrible, yucky, like, oh my God, the world's gonna end, that kind of thing. And a lot of people feeling this energy of hopelessness and despair. But one thing that I do want to remind you all is that this is not hopeless, and you should not be in despair. And in fact, you guys should be excited because y'all won the galactic lottery. Being at this time and in this world, in this timeline, in this universe, how you are as you are, it's beautiful. And I really want you to remember that we as a collective have the power to change this planet for our future generations. That the planet that we grew up on, our ancestors grew up on, it's not going to be the same planet that our future generations are going to have. It's actually going to be a beautiful one, a more harmonious one. We're no longer going to be slaves to the system. And so I want you to remember that going forward. We're basically in the trenches right now. You know, we are battling this war that we've been battling for so long, and this is our time to actually serve humanity in the best way possible. So congratulate yourselves and take pride knowing that you're a part of this momentous occasion in history. It's going to be wonderful. So I just want to give you guys that heads up and let you know, like, this is awesome, you know? So yeah. So anyway, we could go ahead and start talking about what I see coming up here in the month of April. So my guides have been really alerting me on the month of April. And it's interesting because, like, what I keep on getting is that this correlating with the sun sign of Aries. Now, Aries, that already started at the end of March. So we're already technically, well, no, I think we're almost at Aries season. And so once Aries season hits, which obviously Aries is the god of war. And unfortunately, once we hit that Aries energy, this is when we're actually going to start seeing things really heat up, okay? And so I really do feel like this whole Ukraine-Russian thing, that's going to actually get pretty heated as well. But I do feel like there are going to be other power players, like other countries kind of stepping up as well. Iran is actually going to be one of the biggest countries that we're really going to see like a significant influence from. And we're going to hear a lot about China as well. So more and more is going to start to be exposed around the truth of this war, who's behind it, what is actually going on. However, you know, obviously whenever more truth comes out, more distractions have to happen, right? Because it's like, ooh, people are waking up. People are seeing what's actually happening. Oh no, we have to throw a distraction. We need to make things crazy. So that's the unfortunate part to this situation, is that even though more truth is going to come out and where people are going to wake up and realize, hey, wait a minute, we are definitely being duped and lied to, this is also going to create a significant distraction for us, okay? And okay, somebody is just saying that I'm playing with evil forces. No, I'm not. I'm actually being guided to inform you guys to know what to look out for and to protect you all. So those who think that I'm working with something evil, I'm sorry, you're incorrect and ignorant. But anyway, let's move on. yeah, are we ever going to find out the truth? Yes, but here's the thing too, is that again, when the truth comes out, that's when these distractions come in and they really try to thwart us and to throw us off track. So we have to remember not to get sidelined by these distractions. With these distractions, I am feeling cataclysmic events. In the form of what I keep seeing is explosions. Thank you so much, Carmen. I appreciate you too. Thank you for your support, guys. You guys are amazing. Thank you for not judging me and calling me evil. So I don't understand these people. It's like, obviously, you know, they're projecting, and they also have hate in their hearts too when they decide to call other people that thing. So I don't take it personally, but I do appreciate the love and support that you're giving me, by the way. So thank you. Anyway, so yes, haters definitely be hating. So I know people are a little concerned about like COVID strains and stuff like that, but like for the most part, I'm really feeling the whole COVID narrative that's pretty much dying. However, they're gonna still kind of like put it out there on the side in some sort of way to like kind of keep it alive to a certain extent, but it's not going to take over like it did in 2020. Okay. It's going to be kind of like, ooh, new scary strain, like get your 17th jab, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't really feel like it's going to be a main focus this year, luckily. I feel like it's going to still kind of be in the background. The news is going to say there's some scary new strain coming out and to get your 7th jab. Obviously, don't pay attention to that. Not a good idea to get yourself jabbed either. That's a whole other thing that we could get into. Yeah, obviously the COVID was a distraction and form of control. That's a given for most people who are woken up. So thank you, Leah. I appreciate you. So anyway, like I was saying, is I do feel like there are going to be some orchestrated terror attacks. I believe that definitely, you know, this whole Russia narrative is really going to be pushed. Okay. And I do feel like, again, this energy, like blowing up. Okay. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. I have some trolls on here. It is what it is. I'm just going to ignore them. So anyway, so yeah, like orchestrated events. And, again, I don't know. I'm seeing some sort of like terror attack, or there could even be several of them. And I feel like this could definitely be something that is blamed on Russia for sure. I do feel like people are really going to start digging into this and be like, wait a minute, it doesn't make sense. So you're saying it was Russia doing this, but like, what about this? Like, people are really going to start diving in and asking a lot more questions. What I do see, interestingly enough, is something to do with like an embassy. Something that could be related to the United States in some sort of way. That could kind of, but again, I feel like it could be a situation where we are the ones that are behind it, like the American people or the United States government. And I feel like they could orchestrate some sort of terror attack against, like, it feels like a government building or an embassy, something along those lines. And I feel like this could definitely invoke more like warlike energy, like, oh, you know, they attacked us, like we need to go after them. So this could definitely spark up more of that energy to really kind of create this bigger energy surrounding war. okay? And I do feel like really the World War III energy really could start in April, or we could hear more about that. People could have more fear about this World War III, like really starting to emerge. But I feel like there's going to be definitely like talks about it, okay? So yeah, there is just, I want to say like April feels very, very intense, very insane. With that also being said, there's a lot of information going on around the petrodollar, as well as certain countries exchanging oil in yen as opposed to the petrodollar, which eventually is going to devalue our United States currency. We are unfortunately on the verge of a economic collapse, guys. And I feel like this energy is really going to also start up in April, like mid-April-ish time, moving into May. We're really going to see more inflation, unfortunately, happening, as well as much higher gas prices. This is also going to start causing a lot of civil unrest, and I'm starting to see like protesting of reforming again. I feel like there's definitely going to be more protesting, and people just being like, enough is enough. Like, we can't afford, $12 a gallon, like, and obviously the inflation in our gas prices is to move people into electric vehicles. So, which is definitely not going to work out. It's definitely going to backfire. People are not interested in electric vehicles. So, I feel like a lot of what the government is going to push on us, I really do see a backfiring, where they're trying to keep this narrative going, and more people are going to be like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. And I definitely see more and more people questioning and finally kind of starting to make sense of things, and other people waking up. And what I spoke about in like a prior video of mine in one of my prediction videos, that 2022 is going to be one of our greatest years of awakening. So with the people that have been asleep for so long, there are going to be events that unfold that finally start to wake people up. Like, this is shaking people out of their sleep. Now, I'm not saying that everyone's going to wake up, but a much bigger chunk is about to wake up, which is great. Really good news. And that's what we want. We want to keep this collective awakening happening, and good on you guys for that are following me right now, because it seems like most of you guys that are following me right now, you guys have learned the truth. You guys have finally awakened. Maybe some of you guys have been awakened from day one, which is amazing. But for some of you, I'm sure it took a little bit of time for you guys to see. But good on you for having that courage to not let society or the media tear you down and gaslight you, and deciding to finally think for yourself. It's such a beautiful thing. To acknowledge in yourself. So give yourself credit for being a part of the collective awakening. It's beautiful. And this is what I've been teaching since day one. When I first started out, I started off on YouTube and I was putting out videos, and I'm like, this is the Great Awakening. And a lot of people didn't see it. Not very many people are awake in 2020, and I held on to my truth, and I was like, I'm warning you guys, this is what's gonna happen. And everything I said happened. So, and then there's still quite a few things that are yet to happen. But, you know, we're really going to see major, major changes in our government, our society, our structures, all of that later down the road. So we're really starting to see a buildup of that. But eventually we are going to get there. And this year is going to be a catalyst for that. 2022 is going to be such a very significant year in this decade alone, that really creates that like massive shift into awakening and rebuilding. And also we got the 5D timeline shifts and all of that fun stuff. So this is also not only like an awakening on a humanity level, but an awakening on a spiritual level. People are going to start, you know, seeing these systems becoming dismantled, and you know, they're going to start to realize like these systems that have been controlling us for so long are finally going to collapse. So Kangaroo, you know what, if you don't like what I'm saying, you know, you're actually just being a hypocrite. You know, you're just going on here on your pedestal and you're passing judgment, which the Bible tells you not to do. So if I were you, I would leave this chat, because you're just creating bad energy for yourself, my man. So you need to leave. Nobody cares what you think. All right, nobody cares. Yeah, nobody wants you here. So you could leave. You're embarrassing yourself. Actually, you're acting like a clown. So anyway, like these people, I swear to God. But anyway, yeah, so just know that we're under a complete system dismantling. Let's see, as far as what else happening in April here too. So there's, I see actually kind of a lot more stuff surrounding Joe Biden and a lot more controversy. Like, I really do feel like the whole Biden Kamala thing, that's really going to be under the spotlight. They're really losing popularity right now. And I do feel like there's going to be more of that coming up in the next couple of months too, just like really being like, wow, you know, and even the people that had voted for them are really going to be second guessing themselves. So, you know, that's a good thing. Again, everything that is corrupt, everything that is evil right now is really going to be brought up to the surface. And exposed for how it really is. Thank you, Debbie. Yeah, I don't know how I can, like, is there a way that I could report this guy? Oh, I can. Okay, I'm gonna block him. I'm gonna report. Sorry. He is harassing me. Okay, you are being reported, Kangaroo. You shouldn't even be on TikTok. You're ridiculous. Okay. All right. He's been blocked. All right. Thank you for your support, guys. So, I thought maybe I could do some tarot cards for you guys too, and also see, I know you guys have a lot to ask about your countries, which is totally understandable. I will do my best in answering your questions, but let me just kind of take a quick look at the cards to see what else comes up, so that way you guys could be aware here. But yeah, just be mindful of April. And one of the biggest things too is like it really gets something to do with food. Food has also been very scarce, and I really do feel like April and May are going to be very significant months with food scarcity. California, by the way, I have a lot of California clients. I'm originally from California and I moved to Florida. And unfortunately I still have family there, and California is not going to bode well. My guides keep on saying California is going to be the next Canada. and that's not to scare you guys, but California is about to turn it into the next Canada. So the new world order stuff that they've been implementing in Canada, California is going to be like the first guinea pig. And I do see Washington being a part of this as well, and maybe even Oregon kind of like follows suit. But California being kind of the first state, and I think Washington is also going to be a part of this too. So you're going to see much higher gas prices. You're going to see higher food prices. You're going to see supply chain shortages. You're going to also see a lot more violence and a lot more crime taking place. If you do not have a gun, I suggest you getting one. Like, you really need to protect yourself and stock up on gas. I know it's like crazy expensive right now, but pretty soon it's going to be the point where it's completely unaffordable. Your average person is not going to afford gas. So make sure that you are efficiently prepared. This coming, I would even say this starts in April, but April, May time, I see really, really dry season here. I really do feel like a strong drought energy, but not only that, but I'm also seeing immense of fires taking place in California. And I see actually a lot of people being displaced. I see homes being destroyed. But I feel like this is all being done on purpose to get people out of their homes. I think that, kind of more woodsy, more rural areas may be more of a target for this. So yeah, just be prepared for that. Also, a very significant earthquake is on its way too. I feel like May is going to be a really, really rough month for California. So that could actually be when this earthquake happens. I feel a really significant earthquake happening in California. I also see a mass exodus again, a second mass exodus to start in the next couple months anyway, like even by May. I do feel like more and more people are going to start fleeing the state and trying to relocate to other states. This is going to really pose an issue for other states in the country too, because they're going to be running out of homes, and this may actually create like a more significant economic crisis just altogether. So I know some people think, okay, should I leave California? Well, the thing is that most of the country is not going to be really doing much better. In the terms of economically and socially, it's really going to be very, very challenging just all the way around. Now, I would say, I don't know, I almost kind of feel like being out in the mountains in California may be safer. Stay away from major cities like, LA, San Francisco, places like that. I almost kind of feel like the mountains may be actually kind of more of a safer area to be in. But one of the concerns too, it depends on the mountains, right? Because again, I feel like there's going to be a lot of rural areas that will be destroyed too, because I am seeing a lot of fires. In fact, like this may be, I don't know, I keep on hearing records. So something about record fires, guys. So pay attention to that. I also get a lot of wind. Maybe it's like very, very strong winds that pick up. It could be the Santa Ana winds, maybe stronger winds, something along those lines that really spread these fires like even further. But just know that this is unfortunately planned. So for my California friends out there, just really prepare yourself. If you have the means to move, I would do now. I was talking to a client yesterday because she was also thinking about a move, and I'm like, don't move any later than July. Because after July, it's going to be pretty much impossible to move anywhere else. So unless you're like crazy rich and you've got connections. So I would say, like, if you are to move as soon as possible. Move to a less populated state, I would say. Otherwise because like Florida is getting too crazy. I know that everybody wants to move to Florida, but Florida's in bad shape right now. It is. And the more people that move here, the worse it's going to get. So I'm just advising people not to move to Florida. I mean, it may seem great as far as like freedom is concerned, but when it comes to also like a housing shortage, people are losing their homes. They can't afford to rent anymore. Houses are being bought out. People are being forced out. People, like the cost of living, it's insane. So, you know, I would advise against moving to Florida. And that's not to say don't move to Florida, but it's just like, if you move to Florida, it's going to be tough because we're already feeling the toughness right now. So just letting you know. So those are like the main states that I would really want you to stay concerned about, like weather events. We're really going to see really abnormal weather patterns, a lot more tornadoes, a lot more hurricanes, floodings and fires are really going to be quite significant in the United States. So just pay attention to that. Now, Australia, I know a lot of people are asking about Australia too. So unfortunately, Australia is not going to get any better either. So there are more unfortunate weather events to come too. I feel like fires are going to also take hold of Australia as well. So fires and floods. I get something about money. I feel like, yeah, your system is also kind of on the verge of collapsing. I do see like more of this implementation into digital currency. You guys are definitely going to kind of be up there with Canada. When it comes to like, I see this social credit system starting to be implemented. It's again, like Australia and Canada are very, very similar as far as like what they're going to implement. And, what I do feel is there is going to be like this social credit system and a lot to do with digital currency happening. I don't know why. I see like, I don't know if there's going to be an attack on Australia too. Like, I don't know why I'm saying, I don't know if this is going to be a news clip or something that you all are going to see, but I see a woman holding her like a baby. And she's like screaming. I mean, it's kind of a sad image to see. I don't know if this is like, I don't know if it means something, but I almost kind of feel like there could be some sort of like terrorist attack in Australia. That could also hurt a lot of people as well. So just, you know, be on the lookout for that. I hope not. My heart goes out to Australians, but unfortunately, Australia is going to have a very challenging time this year as well. There's going to be, you guys are like the hub of the New World Order. I hate to say, you in Canada. So you are going to expect also a lot of food shortages. I feel like there's stuff like almost like sanctions, like the government taking away your food. I also see farmers or farming also being a problem. Maybe like a deliberate attack on crops or food supplies, food shortages. I get a lot of things about family and young children coming up here too. You guys need to stock up now. I want you to say stock up now, okay? Because I feel like Australia is definitely going to get a lot worse. And it's almost kind of like I see these food shortages as almost like some sort of like leverage for compliance, that kind of thing. Because more and more people are going to start rising up and they're going to start, you know, speaking out against everything that's going to happen. It's almost like they're going to be punished in some sort of way by taking away their food. Like, okay, if you don't join this social credit system, you don't get to have food. It's almost kind of like the same thing that they were doing with COVID and the vaccines. So, yeah, I want you to prepare. When is this happening? This could actually start happening next month. Like April just feels like a really significant month, like a catalyst month. It's like you're really going to start to notice the tables turning. I mean, even though there's been a lot going on in the world from the beginning and until now, I'm sure you guys have also noticed that there's also been kind of like a stagnation, like a stuckness, and a lot of people are feeling that stuck energy, like, yeah, there's things going on, but also not at the same time. Well, I feel like mid-April, probably around tax day, even like April 14th, something around the, like, I keep on getting drawn to like the middle of April. This is when we're really going to start to see these shifts taking place. Like, wow, things are really starting to move in a not so great direction. However, but like for a lot of people or individuals, there's actually going to be a lot of blessings that come out of April too. So it's not going to be horrible. There will be a lot of challenges, but I do see a lot of people coming up with new ideas in order to better face these challenges or to move forward. So that's actually going to be like kind of a good thing that happens for April, like a lot of benefits, like a lot of opportunities, a lot of doors open. It's almost kind of like your spirit guides are going to be with you, and then they're going to be able to give you direction and guidance to be able to like help you with whatever challenges you might be facing in your country or in your state at that time. So a lot of you guys, even though things are going to be crazy, a lot of you guys are going to be protected as well and blessed in a lot of different ways. So that's really something to look forward to as well. So it's not going to be all horrible. All right. And I don't want you thinking of these things as bad things. And I don't want you guys thinking of these things as a way to fearmonger, or to get you in fear. It's more of a way to mentally prepare yourself for what's to come. So that way you could face these challenges head on and just be like, I just got to remind myself that this is all happening for the greater good of humanity. These things need to happen in order to get exposure so this could come out, and so that we could change these things. We could change these events for the better. That's the mindset you all need to be having, okay? So just like, it's almost kind of like in your life, if you go through a hard time in life, and just all what we experience as individuals and our personal challenges are ways to get us to grow and to learn and develop and to make changes for the better. That's why we go through challenges in life. They're not meant to punish us. A lot of people think that karma is a way to punish us. It really isn't. It's learning, it's growing, it's understanding the human experience. And we are all collectively in this together. And what I was saying earlier, that like this is going to be the most unifying thing that we are going to go through. Humanity as a whole will eventually unify and come together on this. So the end result is beautiful, and that's something that we all need to focus on. So remember that. Let's see. What about, okay, people want to know about the UK. All right. So one thing about these lives, I don't think that I could reshare these on TikTok, unfortunately, but what I'm going to do is I am going to save it, and I will put it on my Instagram and on my Facebook account. So, make sure that you follow me on Instagram and or Facebook, so that way you guys could see this. Okay. Yeah, I wish I could repost it on TikTok, but unfortunately it won't let me, but I'll be able to repost it on Instagram for you guys to see. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time to repeat everything that I've said. So I'm sorry if you're just tuning in now. Just be sure to go back and watch it on my Instagram. Let's see. What about the UK? Okay, Michigan, eventually they're gonna kind of have their own problems. I don't know why I'm saying change of leadership. Something about a change of leadership that comes up, I think, in Michigan. New governor, maybe? Interesting. Okay, Norway. Like, there's so many countries. I can't see that. I can't look at them all. Let me see what I could get on Norway real quick. Pretty much every country is going to have monetary changes, like system changes with like something to do with like banking, money. I don't think Norway's gonna get too crazy, to be honest. However, it's almost kind of like a gentler version of implementing also their social credit system and changing out the currency, something to do with banks. I'm seeing a lot of energy coming up with banking. That's also something to pay attention to. We also have to kind of look out for like cyber attacks, social media outages, banking outages, that sort of thing to take place also in the next couple of months. I feel like there's going to be a power grid outage as well, because I've been seeing this for a while. Like I'm seeing lights go out. So I feel like this is going to affect a lot of people. I also think that there's going to be satellite outages too. Meteor. Something about a meteor. That could also be hitting us, but yeah, I mean, from now until the rest of the year, I'll be doing like these occasional lives because there's just so much information to go over. This year is just going to be really, really crazy. So, there's just so much information for me to pull, and it could get a little overwhelming. I kind of have to like focus one at a time, just kind of like in a general sense, and then gradually, once I kind of get most of the main predictions out of the way, because like I'm still not done. I still have so many other predictions to give y'all, but I'm really trying to kind of like get as much information as possible. So please bear with me. I'm not like a super supreme godlike being. Unfortunately, not yet anyway. One of these days maybe, who knows. But speaking of supreme beings, one thing that you guys want, like I guess an exciting thing that could come out of this year actually is we're really going to start to see more intervention happening by our friends upstairs. So that's actually going to be really interesting because, believe it or not, but ETs are a big part of what's going on right now. I know that sounds nuts, but they are a big, significant part. Not a lot of people are talking about this right now. There's dark forces and then there are light forces, and there's almost kind of like a battle kind of going on between them as well. And unfortunately, the dark forces are kind of in with the elite and the globalists, because there's been dark forces that have been trying to take over our planet since the beginning of time, and now working with our government and them kind of like being on the same page together, but like, hey, let's help each other out. So that's kind of what's going on right now. So the light forces here, now you got to understand, and a lot of people want this to happen, like, oh, when are aliens going to save us? Aliens aren't technically going to save us. The whole point for them being here is to observe and to make sure that we are taking the right course of action. So they're more kind of like in the background, and they're trying to kind of guide us and also prevent us from destroying ourselves. And so when this war starts to pick up, we are going to see an influx of alien activity, extraterrestrials, UFOs, that kind of thing. Much more similarly to like World War II, or the like the Cold War. The Cold War was actually a very significant time when people were seeing like UFOs show up. So and that's because they were observing us and making sure that we're not blowing shit up. So, we've got that to look out for. It's going to be interesting, but I think that this could also be a way, when they do start showing up, like a way for the government to use fear tactics and saying we are being invaded. And so that could create its own type of fear mongering campaign. And I know a lot of people think like the government's going to create a fake alien invasion. I don't know if I actually see that. I actually feel like it's not going to be an invasion. Like, we're going to see a lot more UFO activity, but I think that the UFO could perpetrate this as an invasion and use it to fearmonger. So that way aliens are therefore demonized. But like these ETs that are showing up in the skies, the UFOs that we're going to start seeing, they're actually going to be the good guys. And they are going to intervene. And the thing is that especially when there's going to be threats of nuclear war, they're really, really going to show up. So to prevent nuclear war from happening. But I almost kind of feel like it's the same tactic that they've been kind of using as Russia's like these horrible people or whatever. At least Putin anyway. Obviously Russia's as a whole is not a horrible country. Russians are a beautiful, amazing people. Putin has his issues, whatever. But I don't think that he's as bad as the narrative is perpetuating him to be. That's my personal opinion. You can agree if you want. If you don't, that's fine. That's just my intuitive feeling. I don't feel like he's as bad as what they're saying he is. And I feel like they're going to kind of use that same tactic to, really demonize extraterrestrials and be like, they're bad, like, especially if they're trying to intervene and if they're trying to protect us, then, it's like we need to demonize them. So we have the authority to also, kind of go to war with these people. I don't know. I think that there is at some point going to be this weird kind of like thing with ETs that start this year. Possibly by the end of the year. I think the next couple of years following 23 and 24 are going to be really interesting years, especially when it comes to ETs and stuff like that. So that should definitely be interesting. Whew, so much. All right, let's see. I know you guys have a lot of questions. I'm gonna try to go through as many as I can here. First time here, are you single? This isn't a dating site. Is ScoMo an alien? Who's ScoMo? I don't understand that question. ScoMo? Let's see. Fear is the biggest bad feeling. Yeah, fear is bad. Could aliens be humans traveling back in time? I think some of them are. I mean, technically, all aliens are traveling backward in time because of the space-time continuum thing, and then you're traveling through wormholes and you're going, with the math and all of that. So yeah, technically aliens are traveling back in time. I think the good ones that we could look forward to, definitely the Pleiadian forces are really on our side, which is good. Let's see. Prices getting high rents in the banks. Okay, that makes sense because I got something to do with banking for Norway. Okay, yeah. So unfortunately, like Norway's not going to be like crazy, like in a lot of other countries, but they're still going to have to deal with a lot of difficulty when it comes to their monetary system and their banking and finances. I do feel like the whole social credit system will also be established there as well. For some reason, I get like kind of a calmer energy in Norway. I don't think you guys should be this calm. However, I do see protesting though. I do see protesting happening in Norway. And I feel like it's gonna be during a cold season. So maybe, because I see jackets and sweaters, like I wanna say like maybe September. I'm assuming it probably gets pretty cold in Norway in September. Like probably in the fall season is when I really start to see Norway uprising, because they're gonna start to realize, like, it's like we can't be calm and peaceful anymore. Like we need to say something. So yeah, that's what I kind of see happening in Norway. What else? Sorry, you got a lot of. Somebody's asking me, do you believe God will come back? I have my own personal views on this. I do believe that the book of Revelation has a lot of truth. I'm not a religious person, but I do believe that the book of Revelation has a lot of truth, and there's a lot from the biblical prophecies that have come true, because these people were hooked up with some like higher sources of wisdom. Absolutely. But I feel like a lot of this is also metaphorical and also interpreted from that time, which was when the Bible was written. So when people had visions, and this is just like in a general nutshell, like when people had visions back in the day, they associated with things that were in their present, animals, plants, trees, or whatever. So when they would see a certain vision that they couldn't understand, they would associate it with an object that they were familiar with, for example. So I believe that there's definitely a lot of like metaphor to, the book of Revelation. So such as like Jesus' second coming, for example. I believe Jesus is an archetype for peace on earth. Okay. I believe that is Jesus. He's an archetype. He is pure. He is love. And I think that it's also a collective energy for us to all be a part of, like that, the whole Christ consciousness. And I do believe that Christ consciousness is going to make a return. And that's going to be a very beautiful thing when it does. Satan, Lucifer, is a representation of evil. It's the evil forces, it's the darkness, it's the cabal, it's all of that. When we are able to defeat Satan, I know in the Bible it talks about Satan being locked away for 1,000 years. This is when we could officially have peace, right? So when the cabal, when these lower vibrational energies, when the evil is locked away, this is when Christ consciousness returns and restores its place on the planet. So that is my personal feeling. I don't believe that Jesus is necessarily like a real person. I mean, you don't have to agree with me. You're completely entitled to believe what you believe. This is just my personal belief. So, but I really believe that Jesus is just more of an archetype as far as like what it means for humanity. It's love, it's peace, it's unity, it's consciousness, it's tapping into our spiritual godlike selves. That's what I believe. And then finally defeating the evil, So technically, yeah, I do believe God will come back and we will kick Lucifer in the ass. Let's see. Okay, Trudeau. Yeah. So, I made another prediction about Canada. I shared this on my Instagram. I did feel like something was going to happen to Trudeau because like I get like Canada like really uprising and really like trying to, there's just going to be so much chaos where it almost kind of feels like there's going to be like a situation to kind of help Trudeau get out of office, to almost kind of bail and to like distract people. Almost kind of like some sort of, I don't know, either he's recalled or he's assassinated. Something happens to Trudeau. Maybe by later this year. Let me do some cards on him. Let me see. Because I am feeling that Trudeau is going to be replaced. But last time I checked, it looked like he was going to be replaced by a female leader. And I don't know anything about Canada politics, but people that watch my video, they're like, oh my God, it's like, he's going to be replaced by our premier. And I guess like your premier is like not even better. Like she's horrible. And it's interesting because I was like, I feel like he's going to be replaced by a female. However, this female is not going to be any better, and she's going to be just as bad or even worse. So, and it's funny because everyone's like, oh, that sounds like our premiere. And I'm like, oh no. So, let me see here. Which is the future for Trudeau? Let's look at just Trudeau. Let's see what's going on with him. Okay. All right, so the cards are indicating that he is already under immense pressure. I get the Ten of Swords and the Eight of Cups. I think that there's something like maybe an assassination attempt or something, because this is indicating death. But what's interesting is that I'm getting the Eight of Cups, so it might be disguised as a death in order to get him to step down and to get him into hiding. Like that's kind of what's being indicated here. We'll see. But like getting around August time, like an August timeline. Let's see what happens by fall. There's going to be kind of like a celebration. I get like, yeah, like a death and rebuilding of Canada too. So let's see what happens by later this summer or early fall months, because I do feel like something is going to happen to Trudeau and he is going to be replaced by somebody new. But I feel like the same thing is going to also happen here in the States. But for whatever reason, I don't think Kamala is going to replace Joe Biden. I feel like it's going to be someone else. Yeah, kind of like somebody that we're not expecting to step in. That's kind of how I'm seeing it. We're going to see a lot of change in power in a lot of different countries as well. We're going to see assassinations taking place, or assassination attempts. We're going to see people stepping down. We're going to see exposures. We're going to see big companies. I called this a while ago too. In one of my prediction videos, I told you the entertainment industry is really going to be exposed this year. And it's already starting to. In fact, like there's a lot of controversy surrounding Disney and sex trafficking. So that's a good thing that this stuff is coming out. So companies and Universal Pictures, I feel like it's also going to be a part of this for whatever reason. I kept on hearing Universal. So there could be something about Universal Studios or Universal Pictures or something like that. Or it could just be like Hollywood in general, or Hollywood-based companies also being like, it's almost like Disney could be one of the first companies to come up to be exposed for sex trafficking and child abuse and stuff like that. And then once that gets exposed, then it's like a domino effect where it's like, oh, well, what about Universal or Paramount or whatever? Like, oh, these companies are also involved in this. Whoa. And then I see actors. I actually do see some actors, some really good ethical actors. I feel like they're going to also step up and talk about these things a bit more. They were in the shadows for so long and they haven't talked about it because they were afraid of losing their careers. But I see people, some celebrities, because there are some good celebrities out there still. I feel like they're really going to be like, you know what? I'm tired of being silent on this issue. I feel like I can have a voice on this. And I see them rising up and I do see them speaking out. So you're probably going to also hear from a lot of actors, actresses like, hey, you know what? I was a victim too. And there's going to be like a lot of controversy surrounding Hollywood which is gonna be awesome. Like so much dismantling that happens. It's actually gonna be amazing to watch that. So I know that there's going to be so much that happens this year and it seems negative, but again, like, remember, this is all stuff that needs to be purged, needs to come up to the surface so that we could start dismantling, and it's going to be one by one by one by one. And so that's something to really look forward to, like, finally, finally, these things are being exposed and we're taking it all down. And that's going to be a big blessing in all of this, is to finally dismantle these systems that have just been so yucky and so corrupt and so evil. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't know why this just came to me. You guys could write this down or whatever. Something to do with trains. We might be getting rid of the locomotive. Yeah. I don't know why, that is just kind of like a vision I had. I saw a train and I'm like, I wonder if we're getting rid of locomotives, which makes sense because they've been around for a long time and they are like, they use so much oil and and resources, and I feel like there's definitely going to be an upgrade in technology, so they're going to probably be like, this is such like an outdated technology, we don't need this anymore. So we might get rid of locomotives and actually kind of switching it up to something a little bit more faster and sustainable, maybe more like just faster trains. But yeah, dude, energy and the whole energy thing, that's going to change. Technology, we're going to see a big boom in technology starting this year and in subsequent years too. Technology that we never thought could exist, that technology that we actually just saw in like sci-fi movies, like we're actually going to see that shit come out, so it's going to be exciting. So I'll just answer a couple more questions, and then I'm gonna have to go, but I'm sorry I can't answer everyone's questions. Just want to say though, I do personal readings though, so if you have a particular concern about yourself, your family, if you want more personal suggestions, what to look forward to or look out for, you could book a session with me online. I have a link in the bio that'll take you to, where to book. You could book a personal session with me. I'd be happy to look at you as, individually. Just to let you know, because like I said, I can't really answer everyone's questions. Like, I got so many questions here. So, but I could help you on a personal level if you're interested in booking a session with me. So just throwing that out there for you guys. I have not been scared anymore since I've been listening to you. Oh, I love that. See, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to not scare people. I know some people in the comments are like, oh, you're scaremongering or you're fear-mongering or whatever. I'm like, no, I'm not. Like, it really depends on how you interpret this information, but I'm not here to scare anyone. Like, y'all need to know the truth. Like, this isn't a game. This is not fun times that we're going into. Like, let's be real here. I'm sorry, I can't paint a picture of puppies and rainbows. Like, you guys need to know what's coming up. So as long as you take that information and you're like, you know what, now I know what to prepare for, you don't have to live in fear. You can be like, oh, I know what's coming, so I know how to prepare for it now. So you don't have to be in fear. I'm not in fear. I know what's coming, and I'm like, okay, bring it. I'm ready. So I volunteered to be here, so that's kind of how I roll. Let's see here. People are asking about New Jersey. When are the aliens going to appear? I'm going to say the aliens appear when the war starts. May, probably around May, June. Probably a little bit in April. We're probably gonna start to see a little bit of that. We're probably going to see a little bit of that energy starting in April, but then May, June, we're going to start to see a lot more activity involving HEs, I feel. New Jersey. I don't know why I'm saying something about like a river flooding. I'm seeing like kind of like a river, and then there's like a bridge. I keep on hearing the word turnpike as well. This could be a river near a turnpike, maybe. Flooding. There's gonna be flooding. I feel like New Jersey is going to have its own set of issues, mostly weather related, I'm feeling. I feel like New Jersey is going to have some really wild weather. So just be on the lookout for that. I mean, like I said, most states are going to have to still go through the BS. Like, we're not going to be exempt from the inflation or the high gas prices or the craziness. Like, nobody's really going to be exempt from that unless you're like living in bumfuck nowhere. Like, seriously, like, there's no escaping this. And every state will probably have its own individual problems. But for whatever reason, I'm seeing a lot of weather events related to New Jersey, as well as like the East Coast in general. In New York, I feel like is also going to be a part of that as well. So just be prepared. But my prediction feels something to do with like a river and flooding, maybe flooding a city or something along those lines. There could be a lot of water, a lot of flooding. So be prepared for that. Okay, I'm just kind of going through a couple more. Yeah, Michigan is going to also have crazy weather. Like, a lot of places are going to have weird weather. Again, these are manufactured weather events. I called this out in 2020 when I did my original YouTube videos. You guys could check out my YouTube videos too. This was when I was just kind of like really getting into this, but I've definitely kind of perfected my craft. But a lot of the predictions that I made was like, okay, I'm seeing really weird weather. I'm seeing solar flares. I'm, seeing all this other stuff, protests, riots, and things like that. And so it definitely got like manufactured weather events, and that's becoming very, very obvious that these weather events are becoming manufactured. So, yeah, be prepared for like really weird weather events wherever you're at. Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I'm just kind of reading what else. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, like I said, for those who are just joining in and want to watch my video, I will be posting this on my Instagram and Facebook accounts. So make sure that you give me a follow at It's Your Universe. And I will be posting this live on there because unfortunately I can't reshare it to TikTok. Also, just be cautious about my posers, okay? I've been getting a lot of people reaching out to me on Instagram and on TikTok, and a lot of people are creating fake accounts posing as me, and they're reaching out to people, hitting them up for readings. That's something I would never do. I am not going to hit you up and ask you for a reading. If you want a reading, you should just book on my website. That's all you need to do. And then just making sure that you're like looking at my name. It's _your_universe. Sometimes they have like extra E's or an extra letter or whatever. Just make sure you report and block because they're just scammers. So it's frustrating. but also flattering in a weird way. But yeah, and like I said, if you're able to, you know, make a donation or contribution today just to help me out and keep me supportive, you could also click the link in my bio and, you know, send me a small donation if you choose. And then, you know, you could also book a personal reading with me as if you'd like. You know, share my profile with your friends, your family, whomever that needs to know this information. And I'm going to try to do this when I can. It's been kind of crazy for me energetically, but I'm doing my best to keep putting that information out there. So hopefully I helped you guys. Hopefully you have a peace of mind. You know what to look forward to, look out for. You know, keep yourself protected. And I'm sending all my love and support to you all. We are going to get through this. We are going to bust out of this, and we're going to create such a beautiful, peaceful planet when this is all over. So keep fighting the good fight and stay in that love vibration. You guys are amazing. So, all right, well, we'll see you guys soon, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.